You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the Crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. If this is your first time checking us out, we greatly appreciate you making us a part of your Saturday morning. Good morning. What's happening?
What's up? And shine.
Yeah.
You feeling good because it's Beyonce weekend, huh?
Actually, I am.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
Not really.
You ain't even going to be here.
Right. So, if she comes to town, I leave.
The disrespect.
Just how it is. Just how she's not the hottest artist in the world right now.
The disrespect.
I'm just saying.
Chose violence. We were just talking about choosing violence.
I was just saying. I like Beyonce, my man Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? But
so who's the hottest artist?
Who's the hottest artist?
You say Taylor Swift.
We're gonna talk about the hottest artist.
Canceled. If you say Taylor Swift, you're canceled.
We're gonna talk about the hottest artist. I like Beyonce, but yeah, it's all good.
Okay,
we got a lot to talk about today, including the hottest artist, which took over Chiefs Kingdom this past weekend. We'll dive into that. We'll also talk about Damian Lillard surprising trade to the Bucks. No one saw that coming. Not even a couple of the Miami Heat players. We'll dive into that as well. And then talking about Miami, the Dolphins, they put up 70 last week.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
America's hottest team.
I mean, you could say that. Most definitely. I'm not even gonna lie.
I mean, they're undefeated.
There's gonna be a lot of smoke today.
There's two other teams undefeated too.
But they haven't scored 70 points.
Okay, I thought you were just gonna lead into my Eagles are undefeated. I thought you. Oh well, okay, all right, cool. So we're gonna talk about the Colorado Buffaloes. Their ticket prices have tumbled after loss to Oregon. Actually, Colorado is getting ready to kick off right now versus USC. So we'll dive into that. And coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll get to our sneakers of the week during our Hate It or Love It segment. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Now, we always try to start off with the Kansas City Chiefs, but this week it's been all Travis Kelce and what Steve seems to think the hottest artist, Taylor Swift.
I mean,
Steve can't name 5 of her songs. I can't about the hottest artist.
I can't name 5 Beyonce songs either, so it don't matter.
You can't name 5 Beyonce songs?
Probably not.
Cap.
Here, give me your black card. Give me your black card right now.
Nah, I probably could, but
I mean, could sing 5 Beyonce songs right now. I promise you.
I bet you could.
Probably.
You definitely could.
Look,
if you played them,
get you a little Casa Azul in your system, and I bet you be belting words away.
I mean, yeah. Taylor Swift like Casa Azul too.
What goes around comes back around.
She does. She likes Casa Azul.
I don't
Ask
know.
you.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not a Swiftie. I'm not
that's Travis's brand. She has to like what he likes.
I wouldn't know.
Don't act like you don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't know what she drinks. I've never seen her. I've never been in the same room with her. Thank God. So
now her attendance had a notable impact on television ratings. Fox announced that the game drew 24.3 million viewers, making it the most watched NFL contest. She had quite the day. She's sitting up there in the suite next to Mama Kelce and everything. It looks like she's in there like swimwear. Hear your thoughts on this one.
It was a good game. I was watching it for the game. I wouldn't.
You ain't gotta be a hater all your life. You ain't gotta be a hater on. Stop hating on my man's love life. Come on, man.
His love life. They were just flirting.
Oh, okay.
That was like a first date, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Oh.
Why you asking me?
I was watching the game. I don't know. It was a good game.
Yeah. I mean, take a shot every time they cut to Taylor Swift. You'd be super drunk by the end. No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I did not. But it definitely turned into the Taylor Swift show. But how serious do you think it is, Steve?
The what? What is
the love life? The saga.
I mean, she was at the game. That's about all I know.
My conspiracy theory is that they're soft launching her for the Super Bowl next year. I think they're waiting to see what NFL fans feel about her.
I like that. They didn't soft launch Usher.
Why would you need
Rihanna?
to soft launch Usher?
Why not?
He has people flying all over the world to go to Las Vegas to pay $1,200 to see him sing songs.
I get it, but Taylor Swift is a whole worldwide brand. You can't.
And Usher's not. And Beyonce's
on the same level as Taylor Swift.
Definitely on the same level as Taylor Swift.
I mean, music wise, yes, but like brand wise, no. Taylor Swift is the biggest artist in the world. I'm sorry. I would say Pitbull is probably just as big as Taylor Swift.
Okay,
but yeah, Beyonce's right there, but Taylor Swift is a worldwide artist. Beyonce couldn't even sell out Arrowhead.
I would beg to differ.
Beyonce couldn't sell out Arrowhead or GEHA Field.
She's not bigger.
Taylor Swift sold out 2 nights.
She's not bigger than Bad Bunny. I'm sorry.
And I don't know.
And you're talking about Arrowhead. You're talking about a region that has probably around 10% black people.
It's the demographic.
It is the demographic, but there were black people there too.
That doesn't mean that she's a bigger artist.
Yeah. I'm talking worldwide. Yes, she is.
No, sir.
I agree to disagree.
I'm sorry.
I want people in the chat to like answer this because Taylor Swift is a much bigger artist than anybody you can name.
So you could go to South America and hear her.
Yes.
You can go to Africa and hear her.
Taylor Swift?
Sorry.
Yeah, you
Sorry,
could.
Charlie.
But then that's a whole demographic. Like you couldn't go to Africa and hear Pitbull.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
Oh my goodness. All right.
I'm sorry, Steve, but reggaeton music and Afrobeats music, all of that, same drums.
I get that, but like Taylor Swift is still a bigger artist. It's talking like sales, everything.
Sorry, Charlie.
I guess that's
sorry.
Let me back. I guess like we could talk sales because Taylor Swift is a much bigger artist.
Because when you start talking about sales and music, it means nothing to the art, the craft. That's like talking about how much an owner makes in the NFL. Like that does nothing for the Travis Kelce's and the Patrick Mahomes on the field. Like none of that matters because we're going off a whole tangent.
I know. I mean, Taylor Swift is a brand, like from kids to 80-year-olds. Taylor Swift is that. Like you can't get a 4-year-old singing a Beyonce song. I'm sorry, you can't get a 4-year-old singing an Usher song. I'm sorry.
I need you to move out of North Kansas City.
I'm just telling you. No, I'm just telling you. Like Taylor Swift is a.
And you would never hear that in a Spanish-speaking country.
You would.
I don't think you would.
You would.
I don't think you would.
You would.
Now back to the saga, though.
Exactly.
If it's a soft
even your mom is agreeing with me. Hate to admit, Steve is correct. Thank you.
I agree to disagree.
Right.
I will not give her being bigger than Beyonce, and for the longevity of it too. Like Beyonce has been on top.
I agree. Longevity. Yes. Beyonce's been in the game a long time. Yes.
She's not bigger. Her fan base is not bigger.
Because Steve is saying these people are bigger. She is saying she's bigger than these people that have, like, Usher and Beyonce have had 25-year plus careers, my guy.
I agree.
Like, that's very long. And
What's the last Usher album put out?
He doesn't have to put out an album.
They're still banging.
Usher had, okay, Steve, I'm going to show you the impact of Usher. He had Keke Palmer's whole little ordeal at his show. 2 weeks later,
nobody cared about that but us.
2 weeks later, he put out a song that charted, Steve. It charted. You understand what charting means? I know you
know
do.
what it does.
Yeah,
I know,
you worked
but-
in the radio industry.
Come on, man. Y'all.
But no, Bad Bunny is miles
You think so?
ahead. I'm sorry. Like, you might not think so, but Bad Bunny is miles ahead. Like selling out soccer stadiums. She's selling out football stadiums. He's selling out soccer stadiums. So sorry, Steve. You want to say in the world? That might be in the world of North Kansas City, but
Okay.
it is.
Why I gotta be North Kansas City? Why can't it be Grandview? At least something. That's something.
She ain't hitting numbers in Grandview either. You know demographics.
So with the saga though, Q, obviously they were spotted at Prime Social, different areas. They were outside after the game. Do you still think, like, for you to be that invested, you know, in the pictures, like her arms around him there, like, is it still a ploy?
I'm with the conspiracy on this until proven otherwise.
Okay.
Like, it's so new. It's, I mean, of course it's in, like Broderick said, it's really in our face. I think that's the reason why I think it's like some bit of marketing behind it. It may not be for the Super Bowl or whatever, but it's overly visible.
Yeah, that's what I agree.
And even in a week when we have a huge international artist coming to town, and I think this is her first time here as a solo act on her own tour in Kansas City, and for the local media to still be talking about a singer at a football game, like that just tells me that it's something behind it. Like there's some kind of like, but they might really like each other. I might be wrong.
For me, and I think, like you said, how in your face it is, for those to be such huge public figures, if she is truly the top artist, right? I don't think that they would be in your face like this so soon. Like, if it's also recent, I think it would be more undercover, more hidden. They would have been seeing each other for a longer period of time, keeping it low key before they bring it to the forefront if it's that serious. Like, you're not going to just come and like put this in your face unless you're completely serious about this person, and they haven't been.
That report was out there like a few months ago.
Yeah,
we talked about it a few months ago. Like
when her tour came here.
Yeah, it was a few months that they were talking about. Remember, he talked about the friendship bracelet. So that was, how long? That was what, July? Yeah, I think that was like July or something. But a little bit before that, we had talked about that. But
I feel like that's still very soon.
Yeah, I'm
this public with it.
I'm anticipating the Renaissance World Tour this weekend. That I was there to watch a football game. I turned that on to watch the Chiefs play the Bears.
I mean, the thing about it is you can't take away from Travis Kelce's star power too, though. Like,
no, that's
because that's, and a lot of people say, oh, well, there was like a back and forth. Well, she put Travis on, or she's using Travis for his, like you mentioned, NFL. But
I think it's mutual, because they're two separate worlds.
Yeah.
When you look at pop music and the demographic of people that listen to her music, more than likely are not going to NFL games.
And I think that was the one crowd that she hadn't captured yet. So that's why I think it's only right in her media sense to be doing this as a media ploy, because that's the one group of like demographic that she hasn't been able to reel in. So how else to do it than to date one of the biggest figures in the game right now? I think, I don't know. I'm just with Q. I think it's some type of media ploy behind it. I don't know how genuine it is, but again, we could be wrong. They may really like each other. I'll give you that too, but it's giving media for me.
Okay.
It's giving rollout. That's what it's giving.
It's giving
some kind of rollout.
He's gonna feature on her next boyfriend song or something like that. We'll see. Now the true Chiefs talk. The Chiefs will take on the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey tomorrow for Sunday Night Football. How are you guys feeling about this one?
I think it would have been a bigger game with Aaron Rodgers playing. Of course,
that's
we know
what
that.
they anticipated. With
Of course. They've tried this game. I think this is the fourth time. They've tried this discount double check. Remember that? that game because they're both with the State Farm Bowl or whatever you want to call it
before that game.
Yeah, he did, and or no, they just didn't make it. It was supposed to be in the Super. Just like the Super Bowl, they were in FC.
No, it was. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was either the 2019 year or the 2020 year.
Okay,
and I think Aaron Rodgers got hurt like a week or two before the game.
Yeah, and I believe. When you look at this Jets team, people are like, "Oh, well, they're missing a quarterback, right?" Like you look at the new additions on their offense. They have a good young receiver. The running back's good, but you got to get the ball to them, right? Mm-hmm. So I think, and I think even Willie Gay, Chiefs linebacker, he was asked this week, and he went viral. He was asked this week about. What do you see from the quarterback of the New York Jets? And he kind of had a little silence right there for a minute, and he was like, "Well, they want to run the game, run the ball. I mean, ground and pound." And then when you flip to the defensive side of the Jets, I mean, their defense is legit. I mean, a young guy, Sauce Gardner, their other corner. Patrick Mahomes talked about him earlier this week, said he picked me off in college for pick 6. He said, I don't get too many of those, but, I still remember, him picking me off. So I think with the way that the receiving core has been playing, they've got to up their game up. And I said this earlier this week. I may have said it on our Radar show, Q, but Patrick has to make his receivers better. We talk about if you look at NBA, we talk about like LeBron making his teammates better. Patrick has to make his wide receivers better. Come hell or high water, you've got to put them in a position where they can succeed. And I think last week, them running the ball with getting the 3 running backs all touchdowns, defenses can't sit back in the zone anymore, and just say, "Oh, we're going to wait on you to throw the ball."
Yeah, and I mean, Patrick does make his teammates better. I mean, is Justin Watson the leading receiver right now on the team?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So he definitely makes his teammates better. Justin Watson has been in this system. Is this his 4th year?
Nope. This is his 2nd year in this system. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I thought he was here a little
last year was his first year because the first year before that he played with Tom Brady. The year before that,
Gotcha. I thought he was a practice player before that. But
he signed a 1-year deal last year. And then re-signed to come back for 2 years this past summer. So,
and that's cool for him to be in his 2nd year, to be the leading receiver, the most unlikely leading receiver on the team, possibly across the league. But to the point, I think he does make his teammates better. And especially when you look at how, like, we always go back to this conversation we had with McCole in Tampa that. It takes a couple of years to really learn the system, but then not also learning the system, learning how to be a pro. Yep. So for him to be able to, pick that up that fast in this system, to be the leading receiver. But then that also could say that, the attention of Travis means that he's overlooked. But he still had a great game, 1 game without Travis.
Yeah.
So I think that's indicative of Patrick making them better. I think the hurdle coming towards the midway, like after this first quarter of the season is pushed out of the way, I think the Chiefs are going to have a tough time with teams like the Jets that have a solid defense that can run the ball and control the clock. Yeah. I think that's going to be an issue going deeper into the season. Knock on wood. They have to stay healthy on defense. Yeah. I don't think they're balling, but I don't think you can afford too many people sitting out. Are they deep in the D-back room?
Yeah. I feel like right now you've got L'Jarius Sneed, you've got Trent McDuffie, you've got Justin Reed, you've got all these guys, man. And the thing about this defense right now, and by the way, they're ranked number 6, first time in forever.
First quarter
that they've been top 10. and just the points that they've allowed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even when you go back to and I would say a high-powered offense, because Jacksonville Jaguars offense is still high-powered. Like, I mean, even though they didn't, yeah, right. I mean, on paper they're supposed to be good.
On paper, yeah.
And
I think
they held them to 3 field goals.
And I think it's too early in the Jaguars saga. I think the Jaguars are really in the same position this year that the Dolphins were in around 2019, 2020.
Mhm.
Really young team, needs a couple of pieces, probably veterans that can really kind of take them over the hump. But looking at the schedule, I think these 2 weeks, the last week and this week, are going to help the Chiefs going into, you know, that middle part of the schedule, because they're facing teams like trying to get that rust off, or the Jets not having that, you know, that star quarterback that they thought they were going to have. And I think these 2 weeks help with confidence. Now, when you face a Vikings team at home, yes, they're 0-3, but still, I mean, that you expect that from a team led with, you know, with the quarterback that they have. But you also have Jay Jettas over there, and who on the defense is gonna hold him and stop him? You know, good luck with that. Then you also have KJ Osborne.
It's crazy you bring that up. Here's the thing about these defensive backs. They're young. Mm-hmm. There's not anything as far as receiver wise that they have not seen. You know, I mean, you got Devontae Adams, right? That what you had to play twice last year. You had
with his quarterback
Stephon Diggs. You got Stephon Diggs that you got to play twice. You got Jamar Chase not twice but once. You had Jamar Chase that you had to play. So I mean, there's not a receiver except, and I'll throw out the outlier, Tyreek Hill. They haven't faced him yet. You know, this young crew. So I think they're going to play a little bit differently, I think, against the Dolphins. But everybody else, I mean, you can kind of, you know, just play straight. I think L'Jarius Sneed, you're able to put him on the number one receiver and let him work.
You can follow him around. I thought that wasn't Spags' defense though.
You're gonna kind of, I mean, a guy like if we're talking Minnesota. You're gonna have to like bracket him. I mean, if he's passing him off, or if you're gonna have to definitely know where he's at. Make somebody else beat you. Take him away. Make somebody else beat you.
But they also have good tight end play, and that's where I think that's what I'm saying is that when you start facing teams that have their pieces and aren't that, you know, that one or two pieces away, or maybe need a veteran. I think that Minnesota game can definitely be tough on the road, but it's also in a dome. Chiefs play fast, and I think the Vikings try to control that game a bit with Kirk Cousins, and that'll be a test because Kirk Cousins is a guy that can give you 5 touchdowns one game, and then the next game he could throw 4 interceptions, and I think that's a tough thing. Like you look at quarterbacks like Kirk Cousins that aren't as mobile, but they can throw the ball. It's tough to really create around that. And so he has to get going early. And if he doesn't get going early, it's going to be tough. And I think that's what we see in this Jets game. I think the Jets are going to try to control the pace, but they're probably going to hit a couple of 3 and outs that really just kill the momentum. And it's going to be tough for them to overcome, you know, all that the Chiefs are going to throw at them.
But that's why the Detroit Lions were so successful, because they were able to capitalize on turnovers.
Yeah.
They were able to capitalize on bad offensive play.
Yeah.
Now the defense still held them to 14 points. So I just, to me, I'm just like, all right, you got this game this week against the Jets. Then you go on the road next week to Minnesota. Then you're back here playing Denver, and then you've got
a bye week, and then the Chargers at home.
Yeah, then you go to
and then you
Germany.
Go back,
Miami.
You go back to Denver after the Chargers because remember they
okay. Yeah, you can play.
They play Denver real close to each other. Okay. And then November is when they go to Germany. And that I think
you're supposed to win all these games.
Well, and I think that's where the test is going to come. Like after you face that Broncos team, Halloween weekend, then you have the Dolphins, Eagles, Raiders at the Raiders.
Yeah.
And so like that's what I'm saying. Like it's going to be tough I think it's going to be tough for this Chiefs defense in that middle part of the season, because then that's when teams are really starting to come into their own. And I say this every year, the first 6 to 8 weeks, I'm not looking at how teams play. But once you get into that week 8, 10, 11, and 12, like you really have to like come into your own as a team. And a lot of teams, like the Jets, you get thwarted by injuries, and it's tough to really like make that. And the Chiefs did the same thing in 2019. Like I think Chris Jones was injured mid-season or something like that, had back issues, but then week 10 they turn it on and it's like, it's a whole Super Bowl run. But I don't know. I think the defense is really going to have to step up a lot more than they have had to over the last 4 or 5 years with Patrick.
And they're going to get Charles Omenihu back too. Don't forget he was suspended first 6 games of the season. So they'll get him back, I believe, right before the Miami game. So I think that's going to add a little bit more depth to the defensive line.
And I mean, hopefully there's no rust there too, because then you can get taken advantage of. And
unless he's going the Chris Jones route, Chris just stepped right in there and he's been rolling.
Well, Chris is trying to get paid.
Yeah, true.
But he also understands the work ethic. Like he's a descendant in the system that Eric Bieniemy was a part of, like you said, where being able to add that fire.
Meta said Jets by 9.
Good luck. Don't make that bet.
Chiefs are 9-point favorites, by the way. 9.5-point favorites. Jazz, you betting this week?
I am not betting this week.
Oh, okay.
Not a betting woman.
Oh, okay. I thought you might have been betting. Who you got?
Definitely Chiefs.
Okay.
Definitely Chiefs. I was going to ask you guys, what kinks and how do you think that these need to be figured out before week 8, before it turns ugly in the wide receiving group? What do they do differently?
Ooh.
I mean, I don't know if there's a what they do differently. I think they need to continue. I mean, it's cliche. They need to continue to get better. You have to be able to find that number one guy, because Travis is going to garner all the attention. So who's going to be that DeMarcus Robinson?
I think too, you got to find that continuity. People forget the way that they were able to function last year. You had a lot of veterans. Juju's a veteran.
That's what I'm saying.
MVS is a veteran. You still got Kelce. They brought along Sky Moore. You had a lot of veterans in that room. Now, I mean, you're looking at Sky Moore as a vet, and then MVS. I mean, you still got Justin Ross. Justin Watson is the veteran too. But you got a lot of Kadarius Toney's not old. He's still a young guy. Like this is his 4th year. So he's still a young guy, and he's only had one quarterback. So you go into a new system. They've got to learn how to play together. They've got to learn Patrick. And just being young is tough to do that. It's going to take a little bit of time. And you talk about teams getting their stride. I think Jazz, they're going to have to get their stride. You're going to have to find it. I think they will. I think you use these games to gain some confidence.
And that's the gaping hole that losing a player like Tyreek Hill, the type of talent that it is because it's tough to replace that in a system that you've built, of course, basically around that.
But at some point, it was going to come to an end.
No, it was definitely going to come to an end. Yeah. But before Patrick even was starting, like Tyreek made Alex Smith shine much brighter. And
I can't say that. I would say Tyreek
okay.
came into his own because remember he was a return specialist. Like that's how he thrived, was in punt return and kickoff return. Like he really didn't become a route runner. Because remember Alex Smith was checked down Alex Smith. He wasn't really getting those deep throws.
And that's what I'm saying. He was able to shine a lot brighter because yes, all Alex Smith, not all he had to do, but for the most part, hey, throw it to a spot 50, 60 yards.
And he couldn't get it there though. That was it. That remember?
No, he was getting it there, but I mean Tyreek just had to run under it. And who was going to catch up with? And that's what I'm saying. Like
that was our argument. Remember that Alex Smith and Tyreek made it plain, like Alex wasn't getting him the ball where it needed to be. And I think that was that last season he played, he had a couple of deep bombs, especially early in the season. He was trying to get that new deal though.
No, exactly. And he got it. Yeah, he got the deal, but I mean, back to the point, is just there's a gaping hole there, and you don't have that level of speed, the sure hands.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyreek dropped passes, but not at the level we're seeing right now. And it's tough to replace that by committee.
Yeah.
And I think we're seeing the effects of that because, last year you was able to put a Band-Aid over it with Juju. Like bringing in Juju, you got that veteran guy.
That middle of the field guy.
Yeah. And they need that guy this year, but it's still a question mark of who that is. Because I mean, throughout the season, is it going to be Justin Watson?
I think they get a veteran. They're going to get another person. That's the one thing that Chiefs do well. They bring in a defensive guy, and I think this year it'll probably be twofold. I think you're going to bring in another defensive presence and a offensive guy.
What
I don't know yet.
Not who, but I mean, what position is in need that you need to?
I would say you can't never have too many defensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you go get a defensive lineman, somebody that you can get for cheap.
Now a little bit of NBA talk. Blazers trade Damian Lillard to Bucks in blockbuster 3-team swap. The Bucks received Damian Lillard. The Blazers received DeAndre Ayton, Kamara, and Holiday.
Yeah, this was one of those trades that I was like kind of scratching my head because all the talk this offseason was, okay, Damian Lillard wants to go to Miami. No matter what, we want his agent comes out and says, oh, he's not taking any offers except Miami. So this was definitely weird. And even I think Giannis talking to, Giannis was like, oh, well, I need somebody else. I can't just do it by myself. Mm-hmm. And I think they figured that out. Like you can't still continue to have Giannis start at 3-point line, dribble all the way. Like that's only going to work for so long. And teams have started picking up on it. And I think now you're going to be able to have that outside presence, and Giannis isn't going to have to stand at the top of the key. He's going to be able to, play short corner, play true center sometimes and work his way around because they're going to have to account for where Damian Lillard is because he's able to stretch the floor a little bit more.
And so what makes this run for Dame different than when he had LaMarcus Aldridge?
Giannis is a much better player.
I mean,
I'm just saying, like,
obviously.
you get a guy like Giannis, and that's you're missing with Dame. He's missing a big man. Like this is Kobe Shaq-esque, to be honest. And I mean, Dame can score. Giannis can score. I think Giannis is a better scorer than Shaq, to be honest. Shaq was more dominant, but I think Giannis could.
Dominant, but Giannis can hit from any spot on the floor.
And I think Giannis could do more, if that makes sense. But this is a good move for Dame. I think with going to Miami, he had to learn how to play with another guard, a scoring guard in Jimmy Butler. And I think Jimmy Butler passes a little bit, but they didn't have the big man presence that they need.
So Adebayo is not the...
Adebayo, he sometimes gets lost in the playoffs.
Okay.
Like last year it was kind of that anomaly, but he gets lost.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a good move.
Now, Colorado's ticket prices tumbled after their loss to Oregon last week. That was an ugly one.
It was an ugly one.
Did you guys tap in and watch the game?
Of course. Did you watch it?
I did. I watched portions, but then it wasn't much in a game, so
What'd you think?
had to get out of there. Honestly, my initial thought was like, okay, of course you're gonna be like overhyped now when they're playing Oregon, and we had talked about going into it like the atmosphere, and that they kind of matched that with like the swag of Oregon and everything like that. That was the first like gut check.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't necessarily want to say that they're a hoax just from this game. I think that was their first real gut check. It was kind of humbling, and I'm glad that it happened earlier in the season rather than later. So I really didn't see it as like a big, not that it wasn't a big deal, like that's a blowout.
Yeah.
But I think
bad.
it was just the first test.
It was bad. But you just said something. Humbling was one, and the gut check was the other. It's like, I think they got overconfident.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I know Deion wants his team to be confident, but I think they got overconfident. Like, oh, well, can't nobody mess with us, and you've still got some flaws in your team. And we saw it was the offensive line. Mm-hmm. Now, does Travis Hunter make the offense and defense better? Yes, he does. I'm not gonna lie. However, I don't think he would have made a big enough difference because Shedeur Sanders didn't have enough time to drop back and pass. They were eating the offensive lineup. And then you saw how they were just throwing the running backs out of the way. Move out of my way. I'm going to get this quarterback. And I can't remember, what did he have? 5 sacks? 6 sacks?
Yeah.
It was a crazy number. But yeah, it was just bad. You could just tell the difference in play. And then not only that, they were talking crazy. Colorado got to talking crazy pregame. Stop walking on the logo of Oregon and all that. And I'm like, whoa, y'all don't do that. Like, you guys are responsive to that. You guys don't go out and initiate it. Continue to play how you guys got here.
Well, and that's how they got there. You instill that confidence in your players. Like, yes, a loss can be humbling, but Deion mentioned it even before the season started. I think he mentioned it, well before they even started camp. That he needs a few more pieces. He needs a couple. Did he call them hogs or something like that? And then that's when we had the defensive lineman conversation, or whatever it was. But yeah, he's missing that beef. Like, you're missing key pieces in a football game. That's, the game is literally determined at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And I think that was the glaring difference between the two teams there. Now, USC up 7-0 right now.
They are up
really quick. So again, like, USC is a team built with a pretty good offensive line.
Yeah.
The defensive
Heisman
line,
quarterback.
Yeah, the defensive line normally is putting out some guy. If not a Heisman, not Heisman, but I forget the defensive lineman award of the year, but they usually have somebody that's that good and some type of NFL prospect. So it's going to be tough for Colorado to overcome this. And especially if you have those couple of like NFL draft prospects that aren't on either side of the line, they're going to struggle with teams like this. And USC is ranked number 8 for a reason.
Yeah, they're good.
You're ranked in the top 10 for a reason. And it's going to be tougher for Colorado later in the season. I wanted them to get that first loss off of their back, but look how much time he has. Look how much time he has. So again, you don't have like these disruptors, and that's what Deion needs.
First quarter.
No, but that's what Deion needs, these disruptors. And if like his main disruptor, Travis, he's not on the field. Yeah. Like, and when Travis Hunter isn't on the field, it starts looking like this. And especially when look at the offense. They rush 3 and they drop 8.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Colorado too. It's going to take time for them to be able to. You can't go from 0 to 100, right? Like, it takes time to recruit. Mm-hmm. He did what he did. He did what he could, but now it's time to look at what you need, look at all your needs.
And I promise you, next year, there's some guys probably already ready to transfer.
Oh, yeah, transfer portal is undefeated.
They're letting their time run out. But you're gonna see a lot of guys transfer there, and not simply just because of the team. I think they're going there for Dion, for the lights, for to be noticed.
You're gonna be on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing too. I hope let's just say they go out and they drop 2 in a row, which they lost to Oregon. They go out and lose to USC. Does the light get a little bit more dim?
No.
I mean, we already talked about ticket sales have dropped
50% already.
Yep.
I think the
shine and the luster, a spectacle isn't there anymore.
I think the Pac-12 is one of those leagues where you can go get that hype back. But
you need a win like this against USC.
You need it, but I mean, it's a top 10 team. What are you gonna do?
You need. That's what I'm saying. You need this kind of win. After a loss like last week, you get blown out by. I was calling it early. People on Twitter like, no, they're not gonna get blown out by 50. I was like, dude, they're gonna get blown out by 50.
When do you Q? So you say that it's not this game. Like, when does the bleeding stop? Then at what point is it like, okay?
Thank you.
I mean, I would have to look at the rest of their schedule, because I'm not sure who they play, over the course of the next couple of weeks. But if you have, and that's what I'm saying, like if you face like an Arizona State,
but Arizona State is. I think they still got to face Utah. I said USC, Utah.
Utah's another one of them teams.
Who they play? They played last week. We just talked about them.
Oh, Oregon.
I said those were going to be their 3 losses. I beginning of the season, I was like, but then they started winning. And I'm like, maybe they can run the table. And then I saw Oregon last week. I'm like, nah, they ain't quite there yet.
Utah is one of those teams again where you'll get offensive linemen and defensive linemen that are NFL prospects. So it's gonna be tough, and especially if you are really light. I mean, if everybody on your D line is under 250 pounds, I mean, what are you gonna do?
They play 3 more ranked teams. They got Utah. I forgot about Washington State. They're pretty good, and Oregon State. So 3 more ranked teams, and then Arizona, Stanford, Arizona State. So. Coming down the stretch. If you go beat a ranked team, which
Stanford's another
Oregon
one of them
State,
teams.
Go down there and beat Oregon State, and then I think you'll get it back. If you can run off 2 or 3 wins in a row, it's like all right.
That swagger comes back.
And you got to keep putting out content though,
and then another week. Week or 2 before Travis Hunter comes back. But I mean, getting him back, I think it'll bring some new energy to the team.
Okay.
Now the Dolphins were on the other side of this. The Dolphins shattered records in the 70-20 blowout once again.
Did you see this from Miami?
I did not tap it. How are you guys feeling about this one?
Miami's just the hottest team. I mean,
how does it feel, Steve?
And I mean, this is similar to where the Chiefs were in 2019. Like, you have a very electric team. The key to them is gonna be health. Tyreek Hill is known for a lower body injury, knee to ankle, knock on wood, not gonna, wish that on him. And then you have Tua that's, prone to concussions that we saw last year, but they're doing a good job of protecting him this year. But you have to continue that streak, not only with health, but I mean, these guys, you could tell these guys understand the game. They understand their offense that they have. And the sky's the limit for them if the defense can keep doing what they're doing, holding opponents to 20 or less. If you can stay in that realm, but then still have the confidence of, hey, we have Tyreek Hill, we have Jalen Waddle, don't they have Mostert as a running back, or did he move on? No, so you have a lot of weapons that can be utilized, and it's kind of the inverse of like what Travis had. I mean, what Patrick has, because Patrick has Travis, and then from there, it's a question mark. Whereas the Dolphins, it's a pick your poison type offense, and I mean, it's going to be tough to stop them. And young teams with this amount of talent,
I think I think 50 points I think 50 points was it for them. You know, like they had 50 points in the first half, right? And then they continued to keep them in. And we talked about this, but they kept them their starters in all the way up to the fourth quarter. So of course, rightfully so, they should have put up 71. Like, you know, you got a team that was, you know, we always talk about stick a fork in them. They done. They definitely stuck a fork in them. But can they keep that up? Like now, you've got to go into Buffalo this week and play the Bills. Can you keep up that same energy? Yeah. Historically, teams that go out and score 50 plus, they come out next week and lay an egg.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay. It just happens that way. So we'll see. And I'm just waiting to see how they come out and play tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow at 3:25 how they come out and play against Buffalo, because I'm waiting to see.
And then this is, I mean, if they beat Buffalo,
this is one week I'm rooting for Buffalo.
And of course you're rooting for Buffalo, but then after that they have the Giants and the Panthers. So this is the mirror of the Chiefs schedule, because the Chiefs have
it's set up really well for Germany. I'm telling you.
But then they play the Eagles at Philly the week before. Well, 2 weeks before Germany. So
and who they have right before they bye?
No, that's what they have. The
Eagles,
Giants, the Panthers, the Eagles, and then the Patriots the week before the Chiefs. So I mean, you're looking at I mean, there's the two matchups that they're looking. You know, the two teams that were in the Super Bowl. I mean, they're surrounded by almost no competition. I mean, you saying don't
Shots
do
fired.
that, but who's the quarterback for the Giants? Okay, who's the quarterback for the Panthers? Oh, who's the quarterback for the Patriots?
Now, on that note, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll get back to Usher. Keep it locked in. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors: classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
The Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we will talk about whatever you want to talk about, except for Taylor Swift.
Please, God.
We're not going back to that again, but we will talk about Usher again. Usher announces he will headline the 2024 Super Bowl halftime show in Vegas.
I know Leandra's hype about this one.
I'm hype. I have to agree.
She's hype about this one. Yeah, I know she's watching too. Yeah, this is dope. Like I know Q wasn't was kind of questioning Jay-Z's moves the first year or two, you know, but it took him time. We can't say that. It did take him a little bit of time to get in there and just kind of fill it out. But now he's been rolling.
I mean,
you had Dre. What was that first year? Dre, and then
there's
50
still,
Cent.
There's still questions to be asked outside of who you get to perform at the Super Bowl. Because I mean, yes, so
he's just over entertainment, nothing else.
Okay, but also there was a partnership to hold accountability for the league, and the league doesn't have end racism in the back of the end zone no more.
We got to make his baby steps. His baby steps.
So
we here
outside of that end of the NFL not doing anything to address the rampant racism within there. I mean, because Colin Kaepernick's trying to come back and they blackballing him and pulling out the YMCA referees off, to start for NFL teams. But outside of that, like, this is big because Usher is one of those artists that around the world, no matter the genre, I don't know if he's gotten with any like reggaeton artist or anything. But
I think he had a couple of songs on that. I think it was last album, but something.
When you look at the OMG record,
yeah,
that's one of those records that solidifies your space, your spot in the worldwide space. Yeah, I mean this game is over.
21-0. Pass the sticks.
But no, I love it because it took a long time for the NFL to get to this point where they had people performing at halftime that moved the needle. And I love it because this is relevance, and I love the whole rollout of Usher's album.
I do too.
Vegas residency, all of that is leading into a world tour, and he's gonna show you about the hottest artist in the world, Steve.
Drop the mic on that one.
All right.
Love it. Now, J. Cole posts letter. Colin Cap sent to New York Jets after Aaron Rodgers' injury. I hope there's a spot out there for my boy Cap.
Colin Kaepernick. To me, Colin Kaepernick's washed. There's no way he can go out there and play quarterback in the NFL right now. I mean, you haven't played in 6 years. Yeah. I can see if he even played USFL, whatever it is, he's not done any of that. And to me, you think you're going to step out there and play on the New York Jets, who still has to face some top 10 defenses in this league. I don't see it. I don't see it. He did average practice squad, but
exactly. And that's
that puts a situation on your team. That puts a situation on your starting quarterback. Yeah. You don't want your starting quarterback to have to worry about, you want to go out there and win games. So I don't know, man. To me,
no, and that's the hypocrisy of the league.
I'd rather see Cam.
Steve hasn't seen Colin Kaepernick train or do anything. Like it's tough to compare him to Chris Jones coming off a Super Bowl, but Chris Jones was prepared coming into the game. Yeah. Like, I doubt that Colin Kaepernick has ceased studying other defenses, schemes, and all of that. Like, I doubt he has stopped any of that. But aside from that, he's asking to be on the practice squad, and they're ignoring him. So again, that's the hypocrisy of the league, because when Patrick Mahomes got hurt, his backup was out of the league 5-6 years. Like I just said it, they were pulling out referees out of the YMCA. Like I don't remember the Chiefs backup name when Patrick. No, it wasn't Chad Henne when Patrick Mahomes got hurt, that knee injury, and he was out like 4 or 5 weeks.
Chad Henne.
That was Chad Henne.
Mm-hmm. Anything is possible. Yep.
That was Henne.
Yeah.
Because I think they brought in somebody else. But was it Henne that came from coaching high school football?
That was Henne. Yeah, Henne.
And so you're saying that Colin Kaepernick can't
Chad Henne was in the league within the past year, though. Like he had been in the league.
No, I'm saying when Patrick Mahomes got hurt.
He was already on the team. Like they already had Chad Henne on the team.
So what was that team that brought in a quarterback that was coaching high school football?
I don't remember.
And he hadn't been playing for like 6 or 7 years, and the team gave him a chance. So that's what I'm saying. That's the hypocrisy of the league. Like they just don't. They know they're so racist behind closed doors.
I'm sorry, man. It ain't got nothing to do with race, bro. That is him being
to do
washed.
with race.
Him coming back right now. Before I could say that, but
Steve, there's
right
nothing
now
to do.
today, no, he's washed. Q, he's not. You're not gonna put a quarterback that's been out of the league 6 years. You mean tell me? You don't DJ for 6 years. You're gonna be able to come right in and be like you are right now.
But see,
don't answer that question.
No. I'll answer your question, but you're saying would I be able to come in and DJ at the level of
that you are right now? Yeah.
No, because he's asking to be on the practice squad.
All right, I know Q came in wanting all the smoke
practice
today,
squad, Steve.
But let's get into our hate it or love it segment.
Yeah.
That time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
All right, let's start off our stinkers of the week. We got the Air Jordan 2 Black Cements.
You know, I think when you look at these sneakers, you got the I need these. I do.
I think I'll pass on these.
You think what?
Yeah.
What?
Pass.
I'd pass on these. I'd pass on these.
No, you gotta have. I mean, you think about Latin American Latin History Month. They brought those out, the little Air Max ones.
Yeah. Those are fair.
Yeah.
My favorites this week are going to be the
Pumas. The Pumas?
No, definitely not the Pumas. The Pumas are definitely last on my list this week. I'm going to have to go with the Nike Air Max 1s. Those are going to be my favorites.
The one in the corner?
Bottom right.
Okay.
The brown colorway. I think those are perfect for fall.
Tone. Earth tone. I can't
Holy
talk today.
Smokes. Yeah, we're definitely not taking your opinions on shoes if you can't talk this week. Air Jordan 8 playoffs are a solid one too.
They are. This real quick story. So I was 9 years old, had these 93. My mom told me I was going to, I don't remember, Mikael Jones. I was going to the swimming pool with him at the Boys and Girls Club. And my mom was like, do not wear those Jordans to the Boys and Girls Club on 23rd Street. Wore them. I had to, put it to you this way, I had to come home barefoot.
Yeah.
Barefoot?
I know. I still remember I got on the school bus, leaving the swimming pool, barefoot. Somebody stole my shoes. Which were those? So that was the kind of sentimental for me. So, yeah.
Touchy spot.
Yeah,
Touchy spot. Ugh.
No, I mean, these are the only decent shoes to me on there, and I still wouldn't cop them. But
fair enough. NFL starting QB Josh Dobbs not able to buy his jersey in Cardinals shop. Hate it or love it.
hey, he's had a week.
That video is funny. That really was.
Nah, I love that.
Washington Commanders fitting name for oppressors. Native American group claims in a new federal lawsuit.
I want to hear
Hate it or love
Q's
it.
thoughts about this. They want to go back to the Washington Redskins. The Native American group wants to go back to because it means something.
That group is not Native American people.
They're not?
No.
I thought they were. They filed a bill or something in Washington that was talking about how they definitely need to go back and how much is doing for Native Americans.
They need to go back to a racial slur.
That's what they said.
Okay. And then if you notice the language, it's close to MAGA. It's not MAGA. It's like WAGA. So this is political stunts. I'm sorry, but
Should the Eagles tush be banned? Jalen Hurts.
Tush
I have
push.
no thoughts on it. Hate
Tush
it or love
push.
it.
Why would
Tush
it? I mean, no, you shouldn't ban it.
No? I feel like, of course, you're gonna go with this one. Q.
Yeah. Somebody gonna get hurt.
Nah, it's football.
Somebody gonna get hurt.
Yeah, not Travis. Patrick Mahomes got hurt on a quarterback sneak.
Well, the guy that was an NFL player, unnamed NFL player, talked about how he, you really it puts a lot of weight on those defensive linemen. Like, and
so what's different?
They can't tee off on, if they wanted to tee off on Jalen Hurts, they could. I mean, they don't.
This is no different than goal line.
Okay.
All right. From the Eagles fan himself.
No, because other teams have done it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Either way, we definitely appreciate you guys joining in on another Saturday morning with us, hanging out, whether you're in your car, 100.1 FM, or watching us on any of our social media live streams. Remember, you can catch a rewind on 100.1 FM on every Monday afternoon. Until next week, we are out of here. Peace.
Views and opinions expressed of the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM.